There is power in storytelling, and each and every one of us is a storyteller. Whether you may realize it or not, we all share stories all the time. And when I see my life as a story, it changes the way I see the challenges I face. I see new experiences as new chapters and different phases of my life as series of books. My name is Dianna Campos, and I always begin my story with the time I made a bold vow. When I was about 5, I came across a stack of drawings that had pictures drawn off to the edges. I immediately knew that it was one big puzzle piece, so I got straight to work. I was completely amazed by the artwork and asked my mother where they come from. To my surprise, it was my father's. I couldn't even picture him as an artsy person when all I knew was that he didn't have the time to draw. My father told me it was his dream to become a cartoonist, and he knew he had the skill and talent for it. So when I asked him why he didn't follow his dream, he told me he just didn't have the support that he needed. And that's when I began to cry. I couldn't believe after hearing my dad's story that dreams do not come true like they do in the movies. I don't exactly know what came over me, but from that moment, I made a vow that I would become a famous artist someday, that I would follow his dream. And while it sounded silly at the time, I was serious. The next thing I knew, I actually devoted myself to the artist journey. But this time, it became my passion, my unique way to communicate and connect with others. By the time I actually entered this chapter called college, I came across a new set of challenging yet exciting experiences. I remember walking through the welcoming tunnel on my first day and feeling pretty overwhelmed. I felt a lot of pressure as a first-generation student, to be the first to go to college, to have to commute back and forth, worrying about the workload and how was I going to handle responsibilities at home. The list goes on and on. But at some point in my first year, I realized that this was a perfect time to change my mindset and write out a plan to write my own story and make the most of what I wanted to learn and who I wanted to be. So I challenged myself a lot while I was here, both professionally and personally. I wanted to be more courageous, so I said yes to opportunities that allowed me to be out of my comfort zone. I dived deeper into my passions, immersed myself within my studies, and developed my own work. And when I found myself often struggling to the point I felt like I was losing my grip, it wasn't hard to find people that wanted to help me, who gave me resources to ease any confusion and stress. A lot of my success is thanks to my mom, who understood just how important it was for me to be a little more independent, to trust that I was putting in the work in order for me to create a better future for myself. I found that some parents don't understand just how much work it takes to be a college student. And while everyone's time in college is going to be different, I believe you will get out a great education and experience based on what you put into it, and if you are willing to explore and grow in areas that you lack. During the first few years at GC, I really thought I was going to live out my life as an independent artist, where I would be hanging artwork in galleries. I was absolutely fascinated with portraiture. To me, they tell stories of who the person is, and it was one way I could really express myself. But my love for cartoons and animation continued to linger in the background over the years. By the time I was a junior, I was conflicted on whether or not to continue my education and get my master's, or take a leap of faith and pursue animation. I spoke about this with our director of career networks, and to my surprise, I had my first of many informational interviews scheduled. And this one was with a former Pixar employee. And from that moment on, this new spark took its hold on me. I was looking for all kinds of resources and working on my portfolio to get me back on track. Finally, I had my senior show, which was a lot of work. Then I graduated and walked through the final applause tunnel for the last time. But after graduating, I did not stop there. The next thing I knew, I got accepted for a mentorship under a Cartoon Network development coordinator for the summer. I applied to DreamWorks for the 4th time and got a call back. If you were to ask me at graduation where I thought I would be a year from now, I would have definitely told you I was going to be working in a major animation studio. So every time you step into a new chapter, you're going to feel all sorts of emotions and uncertainties. But remember to enjoy the experience, because you are your own story and you can definitely write out what comes next.